So I mentioned porgs before. There is a scene in the new Star Wars movie, which you hopefully remember, where Chewbacca is eating a nice rotisserie porg, or at least attempting to. Yeah, we called it. Until the porgs show up and sort of give him like the saddest puppy dog eyes. And one of them flies directly into the sky. It's great. So they scare him out of eating that. So he had to skip a meal, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But the New Visual Dictionary talks exactly about how much Chewbacca has to eat a day. The quote here specifically is, adult Wookiees require a range of 3,500 to 6,000 calories a day of food. Uninterested in the decades-old rations of Boba the Falcon, Chewie turns to local wildlife for sustenance.
I think he was probably just bored and wanted to like kill something.
Yeah, so I think they probably have like peanut butter and animal crackers on the Falcon from like the 70s, but you don't want to eat those. So we did the math on this. I was researching what exactly 6,000 calories a day looks like. And the first things first is like when you think about somebody that eats a lot of calories a day, you think of The Rock. And what does The Rock eat a day? It's 5,000 calories. That diet is weird because it's apparently 7 meals that take about 20 minutes each. Most of them are cod-based because that's one of the like sort of least unhealthy, highest in protein fish you can eat. So he has that and a lot of other meats and vegetables. But this dude is really just eating cod all day, which I didn't know about, that The Rock probably stinks like fish.
He used to do like Instagram posts where he's like, oh, it's cheat day, and he'd eat like 8 pizzas and like a mountain of waffles, like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And then he realized that Chewbacca, a fictional space bear, has to eat even more than that?
Right. So The Rock also works out somewhere between an hour and a half and 2.5 hours a day. So with 2 hours in eating and 2.5 hours of working out, that's basically 5 hours a day, close to, of either eating or lifting. Chewbacca, we don't really see him do that much exercise.
No, I think he's just like a bear. I think he probably eats a bunch and then maybe sits around, hibernates.
So let's take a look at what 6,000 calories a day looks like for Chewbacca.
This is a serious show. We do a lot of science here, a lot of real stuff.
Now, this has been a tough one to track, but my guess is that a porg is basically about the size of a whole rotisserie chicken that you can get from like Costco or any of your other favorite stores.
You know what? I want to back this up for a second. You turned around to me the other day and you're like, hey, do you think a porg is more like the size of like a Cornish game hen or like a rotisserie chicken? And I was like, where are you going with this? What are you planning?
Right here.
Yeah.
And you were saying, and I'm actually leaning into this, is that a porg is sort of more like a duck because it's kind of aquatic, so it might be a little fattier, so you might get a little less. But right now, Chewbacca is looking to eat probably 5 whole porgs a day just to hit that 6K calorie mark. He had one on the in his hands and then one on the stick in the film and ate neither. So probably had to really pack in.
It also makes you wonder, like, if he were to stick around and try to sustain himself on Octo, how long before he just hunted all the porgs away?
I mean, yeah, 5 porgs a day. That's insane.
That's
a ton of porgs.
Yeah,
that's like hundreds of porgs a year.
It's terrible.
What else we got here? The Big Mac. One of the world's most favorite sandwiches. 563 calories, so that would be 10 Big Macs a day. I want to see this man in like a funny car going up in the drive-thru like, they just throw 10 cheeseburgers at him. So
Carl, that bear's driving its car around again. I don't give it Big Macs, maybe it'll leave.
Now, if we wanted to stay in the universe of Star Wars, to do something the characters in Star Wars would never actually do, there's a Star Wars cereal. Let's take a look at that. Star Wars cereal is 150 calories per bowl. He would need 40 bowls a day. That's with milk, which does a body good, and a Wookiee as well.
What kind of milk, though?
That green milk.
The milk of the Thala siren that Luke has to...
We'll talk about him later.
We'll come back to the milking sequence.
Coming up next, pizza, my favorite food in the world.
That very common dish in Star Wars.
Huge fans of pizza in Star Wars.
They'd call that like Corellian flatbread or something.
He would have to eat 2 whole pizzas a day. That's just cheese, no extra toppings, which is kind of a waste, really. 2,975 calories per pizza, which scares me because I've done that.
Oh. Really?
Not both, but I've had one myself.
How'd you ruin pizza while we were talking about Star Wars? I feel like that's just counterproductive.
You've never had a whole pizza?
I absolutely have, and now I'm not going to think about it the next time I do that.
Okay, well then how about eating healthy? The rage these days to eat healthy is to have individual almonds and call them meals. An almond is 7 calories. That means Chewbacca would have to eat 857 almonds per day just to hit that 6K mark.
This is the worst picture. This is terrible. Also, those almonds would be like the size of like cell phones. They're huge.
Yeah, the scale's a little off.
This looks like the dumbest romantic comedy I've ever seen. Sasquatch loves nuts.
So that's our guesses on what Chewbacca would eat per day. Can you eat as much as a Chewbacca? Please don't. You'll get sick. you'll be like, it's not good. Unless you're just doing workouts all day.
How much does the imaginary bear eat in the Space Wizard films? Keep it here on IGN, we'll tell you. It's so stupid.
Chewie, it belongs in a museum. That was our video about Star Wars. Man, we've made a lot of videos about Star Wars, so here's some more videos about Star Wars. Right, Greedo? That's not how he talks. Have a good Christmas.